It feels great to be back. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Drive and Thrive Podcast, Season 2, Episode number 14. If you are new here and you haven't, please go down below and like the video. And if you also haven't, go ahead and subscribe. That's free, and it gets us one step closer to 100 subscribers. Guys, last week on the 28th of November, which was also Thanksgiving, was also the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. 1 year ago, I uploaded the very first video to this podcast, and it just so happened to be on Thanksgiving Day, and I can't believe it turned out to be like that. But in honor of the 1 year, I decided to change the logo a little bit. So this is the new Drive and Thrive logo. The truck you see in the picture is my grandpa's square body that was handed down to me. So it means a lot to me and co-host Zaya, and I've had it for years. I've had it since I was about 13, so like 6 or 7 years I've had the truck in my possession. It was handed down to me after he died, and eventually it'll get up and running, but I thought it deserved a little tribute to me as co-host Zaya. So that's the new logo going forward. It will be everywhere on the socials. This is the first video I've actually filmed about this. We have an Instagram, at Drive and Thrive Podcast on Instagram. This is the first video I filmed after creating it. Wow, what a minute it's been. But without further ado, go ahead and roll the intro. Back to the Drive and Thrive Podcast, where the mics are fake. And Podcast where the mics are fake.
And we're even faker.
I brought Brady back with me today. I told you guys in the short, if you watched it, that he was probably going to come back today because Coach is off doing his own thing. He moved off. He's doing well, but he's got to go do some stuff. He moved a few hours away, so he's going to be doing his own thing. I don't know when the next time you guys will see him. So Brady agreed to step in and help me, so I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Today I figured we'd talk a little bit of basketball. You know, we have a lot of stuff that we both like. We like cars, we like sports, we like some of the same movies, you know. So I figured we'd talk basketball. Obviously, you grew up in a different era of basketball than I did.
Very much so.
You're 27 years old. You're almost 10 years older than I am.
Yeah.
Like, you grew up in the Kobe era, and I grew up straight through the Steph Curry era. So, like, we grew up in two completely different eras with a group of different athletes.
Yeah.
It's just...
There's a big difference. Say 10 years ago compared to today. I used to really enjoy watching basketball, especially Kobe. Kobe was my fave, number one. So seeing how the game is played nowadays, it's not as intriguing to me. You don't find anybody, nor probably will you find anybody else like Kobe was. And for those of you that, you know, like Kobe, whatever, watched him, you know what I'm talking about. The Mamba mentality is something else. And that man had the mentality of on the court, it don't matter if you're brothers, it don't matter, you're going down.
You could be his mom.
Yeah, don't matter. You're not related
on the court. You're an enemy.
Yeah, and off the court, you know, be the nicest person ever, whatever. But on the court, you're my enemy. And that's how people should think when they play nowadays, even in high school. Like, if you have that mentality of, you know, still be a team player, but like, even if you play in another school that you're like best friends with, you're not friends on that basketball court. And both of you need to understand that. On that court, you're not friends. And I promise you, your gameplay will probably be a lot better than normal.
That's true. You know something that's changed tremendously, other than like shooting and stuff, obviously, something that's changed dramatically is just what kind of people are on the floor at all times. We don't find traditional big men anymore.
Like Shaq now.
Or just like any big man for that matter. Like,
I mean,
like Shaq, Dwight Howard,
AD. I mean,
AD.
He's not a big man. He's just really freaking tall.
Yeah. But like you don't find the traditional like just big man center anymore.
Yeah, no. Usually the centers nowadays can do just about everything, especially what's it, Jokic?
Oh yeah, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
he's averaging a triple double right now.
He can shoot the three. He can play center. And it's great. I'm not down.
In today's NBA, if you can't shoot the three ball, you're most likely not making it.
No. And that's great. Being a big man, being able to shoot the three and do all of these things is great. I'm not dogging that, but it would be nice to see just old school big men. Like that's all they do is just dominate the paint like Shaq did. Shaq, you're not stopping that dude. He weighed like what 280, and he's like 7'2". I don't even know.
Well, they had to make rules against it
because yeah. So yeah, you probably won't ever see something like Shaq again, because all he did. I mean, he was also terrible at free throws. Everybody knows that.
God, free throws.
Oh, he's awful. But even just the domination Shaq did in the paint. Yeah, how many backboards did he break? Like 4?
Yeah.
It's
broke
the
one his first year in Orlando too.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life is just watching Shaq. I mean, just his whole body weight and all of his muscles just yanking on that thing and just topples over or shatters the glass. It's the greatest thing ever. You don't see that ever. But then again, the backboards are also made a little better than they used to be.
A little thicker,
a little bit thicker, probably because of Shaq.
Probably, and just bigger men coming in the league.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole old school just center big man, you don't ever see that, and you probably won't.
Some other things that are changing now are like the size of players on the court. Like normally, like traditionally, you look at a lineup, it's like it starts somewhere around 6'2", 6'3", and like ends somewhere around 6 foot. Nowadays, you're seeing people in the league and their roster's like almost the same height the whole way across, or they have someone that's not even over like this height of 6'10". Like the Warriors right now, they don't have a single player over the height of 6'10". I think either Trace or Kevon Looney, one of the two, which are their centers, aren't taller than 6'10". Like those are the tallest players on the court. And most of the time we run 3 guards, Draymond at the 4, and then a center. So we don't run a traditional lineup, and a lot of teams don't anymore.
A lot of teams don't. Another thing is when you look at the differences between your high school, your college, and the NBA, your high school, your center is probably 6'3" at most. That's your center. That's a point guard in the NBA. Steph's what, 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'3".
I am 6'3". Could you see me being a freaking point guard? Absolutely not.
Well, you remember a week ago I said that? I said you'd be a point guard in the NBA, and you said you didn't believe that?
There's no way. I couldn't. And it makes me realize, like, whenever you told me Steph Curry is 6'3", I thought the dude was 5'10". Like, I don't look into stats, and I'm not as into the game nowadays as AJ is.
Well, it's just different because you imagine what the NBA is with the people around you.
Yes.
Like, we go to open gym and we're like, oh, that kid's like a Steph Curry. He's like a short guard who can shoot and dribble.
And I'm more like a KD.
And you're like a tall, like, big man that could shoot. But in reality, you're not.
I would be a point guard at my height.
You'd literally be a short guard in the league.
Which is nuts. Wild. Because when my senior year, I was center. And I weighed $165 soaking wet. But I was also 4 inches taller than everybody else on the court.
Right.
I mean, I could out-rebound anybody. Like, coach was like, hey, go rebound the ball. I got you.
Right.
You know, and then, like, I'm pretty sure our point guard, he was like 5'9" or 5'8". He was short.
I'm 5'7", 5'8", and I was a guard.
I think he was actually shorter than you, actually. So he was probably like 5'6". He was really short. But he could dribble the ball like nobody's business.
Right.
And then, you know, you compare the ability in high school, like you look at him, he's like 5'6", 5'7", but he can dribble the ball like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's 6'3".
Yeah.
I can't.
That's you doing those kids' moves.
Yeah. I can't do that. I can't imagine myself doing that. I don't have that. I just can't.
When you put it in that perspective, like you dribbling the ball and shooting the three is
like Steph?
Like Steph.
Absolutely. No, absolutely not.
That's what he does.
I know.
He's 6'3".
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, being 6'3" and doing the things that he does is actually kind of crazy, because there's no way I could get my legs to move that fast, first of all. Not anymore anyways. Maybe in high school I could, but and then on top of that, the mentality of just thinking of what you're going to do next with the ball. I could never do that fast. Like, yeah, I can take care of the ball and stuff, but it was never to the extent of breaking people's ankles and just performing all these wild dribble moves that, we never seen in high school. Nobody could do that.
Right.
Most
you ever seen was like a crossover behind the back.
Yeah, there was a few times where somebody like pulled the old Kobe crossover, and I mean someone fell down, and the whole bench loses their mind.
Well, yeah, you got to. It's high school.
Well, you have to. It's yeah. In high
it's
school,
part. It's part of being in high school.
And any other time in high school, if someone can dunk it, you want to see them dunk it.
Right.
Like I could baby dunk it my junior year, but I never tried because I just didn't feel confident in doing it.
Right.
But my senior year, I got a little stronger, a little faster. I could jump just a little bit higher. And in all reality, my vertical is not tall or not high whatsoever. But then again, I'm 6'3". It doesn't really have to be. But my senior year, what was it? Senior night. So like it's our last home game of the season. All the seniors play no matter what. And I think 90% of the time you just start all of your seniors. We usually don't have more than 5 seniors on a team. It was great because one of Corby, he was our center, and he had never shot a single 3-pointer in a game. First 3-pointer, he just drains it from like 3 feet behind the arc on the wing. I was like, and everybody loses their minds. All of our friends on the bench are like holding each other back like this, like losing their minds. And I kid you not, go back down next possession when they have it, and he tries to pass it, and I'm on defense, and I tip it, and I go back down and dunk it right next possession. It was the greatest night ever.
Greatest 2 possessions in y'all's life.
Yes, it was the greatest 2 possessions in my life, and I get goosebumps just thinking about it because that was like the highlight pinnacle of my entire just high school career. And it's just one of those memories that you think of, and it's like, man, I'm glad I got to do that. It was great. Just looking around right after I did it, I'm like pumping my fist around and running by the bench and high-fiving, and coach is just laughing his butt off on the bench. It was fantastic. And the whole while right before I dunked it, the only thing I heard was after I tipped the ball, I heard like 7 people. I felt like they were right next to me. I just heard, dunk it. I just kept hearing it, and I'm like, okay, and just dunked it. It was fantastic. You don't get those feelings from a lot of things, but I'm glad I got to do that.
Yeah, I didn't get to play as much throughout high school. My freshman year, I sat out a lot. I was a new kid. I didn't play basketball in middle school. I did for like the city leagues and stuff, but I tried out once in middle school for playing basketball. Didn't make it. Like, I was like, whatever. I played at recess, and I was okay at it. Freshman year, moved to Viola. I was like, I'm gonna start playing basketball. Like, it's what we do in the fall. We play baseball in the spring. I was like, so I'll be on the basketball team. Didn't play a lot. Sophomore year, we had 4 transfers. We had 3 triplets come over, and their coach, or their dad, which was also the coach, and then their cousin. Well, the 3 triplets were really good. They moved from Dora, and they had won 2 state championships and got runner-up one year, like in the last 3 seasons. I was like, that's insane. Good coach, anyways. And then their cousin was junior that year, and so I didn't play a lot that year. Well, I was a part of a lot of great moments, like watching them, and I practiced with them, and we helped them get ready for stuff. And before they came, we basically had 2 main people. We had Gage Harris, and we had Blaine Marbury. Gage was basically our Steph Curry. He ran around, he shot the ball, he scored, and Blaine was 6'3", 6'4",
and he could dunk it.
And
better than I could.
He was athletic, and he was a little agile. He could dribble, he could cross over, and he could get to the bucket. He didn't have a lot of meat on him, but he had enough. Mm-hmm. And the year before they showed up, my freshman year, I was on JV, so I wasn't a part of it, but they almost made it to the state tournament. and it was like a big moment because like we don't do a lot in basketball all the time. Like we've never been that great. The last time we won a state championship was in 2002, which was my dad, which is hilarious. So the triplets come. We basically play the whole season. I played a lot of JV games. I got a lot of good minutes. Because I was short, I was oddly good at stealing the ball. I swear every time I was on the floor, I had 2 steals.
At least.
And every time I was on the floor, I shot 1 3 and it always went in.
That's like me in blocks.
Right.
I always had at least 3 blocks a game. Like, it was wild.
That's how I felt playing in JV. I just blocked like all the short kids. I always felt bad. But one kid, my freshman year, we're playing this JV game. He drives on the baseline from the corner, and I stop him, and I like back up, and he like backs up, and he goes to shoot it while I blocked it. And I told him to try it again, and he passes it out, and they pass it back to him on the 3-point line. Well, he goes to shoot it on the 3-point line. I just blocked it back at him again. And I was like, I'd never done that before.
I
felt
awesome.
It,
you know?
He did it, and I tried it. But yeah, the triplet year was insane. Had a lot of good moments. We had Blaine dunk it a lot of times. One of them was like close game against Thayer, like 4th quarter, winding down, like last minute of the game. Gage gets a tip steal, bumps it just enough, and Blaine was kind of cherry picking. He was just back enough, and he gets down the floor. When he gets to the lane and squares up to jump, the other guy runs like he's at the free throw line. And Blaine jumps, and the other guy jumps at him trying to get the ball because it's crunch time. Like, the score's close. And Blaine just absolutely posters this kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the greatest moment ever. More great moments were like, there were multiple games where Gage had like 6 or 7 threes. One game he had like 9, which was like he just come down the floor, come off of a screen, and the triplets would just throw it to him. He was an amazing shooter.
Was that 27 points off 3-pointers alone?
Yeah,
and then I'm sure he had more.
Yeah, it was his like IQ level was just insane.
Yeah, Gage's basketball IQ is off.
We went on to win state in basketball, which was an amazing experience. Staying in the hotels, going on like regional trips and to state, and then staying in Hot Springs for 3 nights and playing basketball and just being there in general. It was an amazing experience, which I'll never forget. Actually, it's over there, the middle
Which one. Is it?
No, the black one is.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's my basketball ring. And then in baseball, the triplets also play baseball, so did Gage. And Blaine did, but a lot of stuff happened in basketball. Like, one of the triplets, his name was Mason, he broke his wrist. Like, just broke it. And Mason, Bryson, and Austin. Those are the 3 names. Mason broke his wrist, and Gage tore something in his leg and had to have surgery so he couldn't play baseball. So we won state on a Wednesday for basketball. Wednesday night. Won it. We came home Thursday morning. Like the whole like state day parade. Like we come home, like all the towns like close to us are cheering us on. We get back to the school. Everybody's waiting on us. Like amazing experience. We rest Thursday. Friday we had baseball practice, and then on Saturday we went and played 2 games in a tournament. We won the first one, lost the second one. We went on to play the whole baseball season, not lose another game. We went. It's on the ring, the silver one.
This one. What is it? 26-1.
We went 26-1 for the whole month of March, April, and May. We made it so far. We made it all the way, obviously. Well, we won.
Obviously.
We were in the middle of the state tournament, and graduation was like in the middle. Like, the graduation was happening. It was like on like a Thursday. We were in the middle of the state tournament. Well, Gage and the triplets, they all graduated, which was hilarious. Because at graduation, Gage is giving like his speech or whatever, and he's like, knock on wood, and we have this wooden podium that I swear we've used for like 40 years.
Yeah, it's never changed.
He knocks on it, he goes, knock on wood, we win another state championship this weekend. We go all the way, win the state championship. Amazing experience. I like to be proud, because I will say, I got carried in the basketball one. I did help them practice, and I got mentioned by Gage in like post-game or whatever. Like he's asking, he's like, obviously, like, we're the kids on the floor, but, like, all the kids who help us in practice, and he, like, mentioned a bunch of names, and I was one of them, and I was like, yay, whatever.
Let's go.
Well, in baseball, obviously we didn't play. We had like 7 or 8 seniors or whatever. His brother, my cousin Boo, he was our starting catcher, which is he's a great ball player.
Just all around, not even just baseball, basketball, golf, freaking.
He averaged 20 in basketball his senior year. He was a great baseball player. He was all conference every year. He was all state some years.
Did he have like 500 batting average or something?
Yeah,
537 or something.
He's a great player. He was our starting thing. So the whole season we had 10 players on the field. That was it. We had the starting 9. Boo didn't hit a lot. We had Gavin Blevins hit. He was a little hotter, a little bigger. He just got it off the bat. One of the best moments was senior night. We've gone through this whole season. We haven't lost a game. Well, we've gone through this whole season. No one's hit a home run all season. Like, you would figure we would. We didn't. All season. Senior night, Gavin steps to the plate, a freshman. He's doing really good. And we're at home, senior night, crushes one. Left field gone. Like, clears the fence clears the fence by 15 feet.
I was there. It was not even
It was
close.
amazing. Well, Gage Harris comes up to the plate. He is 3 for 3 with a single, a double, and a triple.
And keep in mind,
the bases are loaded.
Scrawny.
He is 3 for 3 with a single, a double, a triple, and the bases loaded. You probably see where this is going. Steps up to the plate, and biggest leg kick I've ever seen, crushes this ball like 20 feet past the fence. He throws his bat 15 feet up in the air. So on senior night, his last home game of his senior year, he hits for the cycle with a grand slam. It's like the best moment ever. We're all screaming. We're hyped. He's throwing his helmet. Like, it was amazing. And like, those moments I'll never get back. And I was the only other player to play on the field. We had 9 players hit the field, and we had 2 pinch hitters. Because I had a pinch hitter. I didn't hit. I wasn't good at it. I was not powerful. My sophomore year, I was the only other player to hit the field. I'm at school one day, and like all day, all the seniors were like, "Hey, you ready to play ball today?" And I'm like, "Right." Because my sophomore year, so I was basically a manager. I kept stats. I kept pitch chart because I was good at it. And Coach G taught me how to do it, and I was just really good at it. And they're like, telling me like, "You ready to play some ball today?" I'm like, "Yeah, like
sure,
whatever." Well, I get to the game. I still have no idea, and we're getting ready to go out and do warm-ups like we do before every game. And I get my catcher's mitt. I put my catcher's mitt on and put like 9 baseballs in it, which is what I do. I go behind home plate with Coach, and I feed him while he hits to the field on warm-ups. Well, he looks at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Getting ready to go behind the plate." And he looks at me. He goes, "You're supposed to be playing left field." I was like,
"Oh."
And all the seniors look at me and they were like, "I told you, dude." And I was like, "I'm not wearing my cleats. I don't have my baseball glove." Like, I'm like, "Okay." Like, 1 minute. So I run into the dugout, and I didn't even tie my cleats. I threw my cleats on and tucked the laces, and I go grab my glove, and I'm like, "All right, I'll go play left field." And like, I don't hit. We had Peyton Love hit for me because he's just another bigger guy. I'm not very big. I had never seen a high school fastball before. I haven't played baseball competitively in like 2 years at this point. Because I played my 8th grade year, freshman year got canceled because of COVID, and all of sophomore year I've sat out. And I didn't play summer ball because I was busy working. And so I'm sitting there, and funniest moment of that game, like, we're playing this game, and it's just like a blowout. We blew out every people we played most games. And we're sitting there, I'm playing left field, and I can't remember if it was Bryson or Austin, standing in right field. He looks at me, middle of the inning, and he looks at me and says, "Hey, do you want to switch?" Like, what? He's like, "I want to play left field." Like, okay. So, like, mid-inning, whoever was on the mound throws a pitch, strikes the batter out, and while the batter's switching, me and him just like run across the field and switch. Keep in mind, I'm a sophomore. I've never been on the field. I don't know what's going on. I'm just listening to the triplet. And I look over, and Coach Luna and Coach G are just in the dugout laughing. Like, we're up by like 11. And like, I'm running across the field, like, we're just switching, and, like, triplet high-fives me, whatever, and I'm just like, now I'm standing in right field. I'm like, what is going on? Righty steps up, and I'm like, oh, he switched me just in time. That ball would have been hit to me. He would have pull hit it. So I'm standing in right field, like, just minding my own business. Kid hits it, it goes oppo, right at me. I'm like, oh, God. Like, I haven't played the outfield since, like, 7th grade. Because in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I played every position on the field. But my 8th grade year, I caught the whole year. I caught and I pitched. That's it. That's all I did. But I was playing the outfield, and I haven't played the outfield in, like, 3 years. So I was like, oh, God. Well, I had one of the triplets called me off. The center fielder triplet called me off because it was like right center, whatever. I could have caught it, but he called me off, and I was like, whatever. And I get back to the dugout because it was the 3rd out, and I run back to the dugout. Coach G's like, AJ, what the heck? Why didn't you catch it? And I'm like, he called me off. He's like, no, you call him off. And we were all joking about it. I was like, whatever, dude. Like,
no, you call him off.
I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, after that, we lost everybody. After that year, we lost everybody. Every single person. We lost everybody. So I was our starting center fielder. We lost all our outfielders, and I was just like, oh, God.
Yeah, you went
so I went from not playing at all to starting in baseball. Basketball, I still sat the bench. I played good. I was a good shooter. I could steal the ball. I was not great at running plays because I couldn't remember them. I was just terrible. I couldn't remember them at all.
Like, the difference with that and me is we ran our plays so freaking much that I still remember them.
I only remember a few. I still don't remember a few.
I remember most of ours because of how many times we had to run them.
One time in game, I remembered it. We ran the Golden State elevator door play. It was so awesome. I was like, I always wanted to be Steph Curry. We ran it in practice, and coach was like, run it. I'm like, okay. We were up by like 20. Come up off the elevator screen, and I'm like, coach is like, all right, AJ, I want you to shoulder check him. Or whoever was on the floor, I think it was like Quaid or something. He's like, I want you to shoulder check him. And Quaid went, okay. So I run past him. First time, didn't shoulder check him. And they slipped it, right? And I was like, what the crap? And the coach was like, I told you to shoulder check him. I was like, okay.
Sorry.
So I'm in the corner, and you run from our play. I ran from the corner to the block, and I ran straight up the middle of the lane, and they just elevator doored, just closed it off. Well, this kid was like following me. Like, I don't know why, but every time I was on the court, I got face guarded. Why? I averaged like 1.5 points a game for like my whole career. They face guarded me every time I was on the court, and I hated it.
Oh, I hated that.
And I was like, and I think it was me, Quaid, like everybody else, and I think it was Gavin or something. I told Gavin, I'm like, I need you to set a screen on the block. And he's like, what? I'm not supposed to. I said, I need you to. And I told coach, I'm like, he's face guarding me. I can't get away from Gavin setting a screen on the block. He's like, okay. So I literally run to the block, and I told Gavin to step in. So I run to the block, and I fake like I'm running back out to the corner, and then Gavin just checks this kid, stops him. And I run straight up the middle. I shoulder check Quaid, double screen, and I literally catch the ball. And I expect someone to be there, so I'm ready to shoot. I pivot on my foot, catch it, and I turn around, and I'm just wide open. No one in sight. I was just like, this is the most wide open I've ever been. Made the shot. I was like, I don't normally get wide open shots like that. Most of the time, if I catch off the dribble, someone's coming at me and I shoot it over them, or I attack off the dribble and I shot a jumper, a wide open layup or something. I was always being guarded. And so to just have that work, and coach was like, good call having Gavin set you a screen, because Gavin was just standing on the other block. He was just a decoy. He faked out to the other wing or something. And he was like, good call having Gavin set you that screen. And then we ran it like that a bunch of other times. And so just having plays work and being able to change something was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't play a lot. I had a lot of fun moments, being a part of Landon's 10 3-pointer night was insane. One time, our state year, we knew Landon was a good shooter. That's all he did. He was basically Klay Thompson. He came off the bench and he shot a lot. That's all he did. He just shot threes. That's it. And one game, he had 5 threes in a quarter. It was insane. We were this is high school, dude. You don't see that a lot.
No. Especially around like our tiny school, like 1A schools. Now.
Right. 400 kids for the entire school, not just high school.
K through 12.
K through 12, 400 kids.
400 some kids.
I have like 23 kids in my class.
I also had like 21, 23 people I graduated with.
So like to have stuff like that happen was just awesome. And then his senior year, we're playing a game and he had like 10 threes in like 3 quarters. And we were like, that's insane. And it was still a super close game. Like, I swear, I don't remember what his high that year was, but he had one game, he had a crap ton of points. Like 40 plus. It was insane. I think he had 50.
It still doesn't beat Stefan's record.
What was
67.
It's 67 in a game.
67.
What was Boo's record?
Oh, man. I think it's 30 something.
Yeah, because it was almost 40.
I think it was 38 or 37. I don't know. Yeah, a lot. Mine. I wasn't, when I played, it wasn't, my main goal was not to score the ball. My main goal was defense. I was really good at defense. I was good at blocking. I was good at rebounding. I was good at just keeping people out my lane, because that's my lane.
A lot of people, my stats never really showed on the court. Like, if you watch the videos, like, I play defense, and a lot of times I would guard, like, the shifty players, like, just because I could. I had long arms. I'm a 5'10" kid, but I have, like, a 6'3" wingspan. It's stupid. But I just guarded people, and, like, so my stats never showed up. Like, I didn't average a lot. I didn't play that many minutes, but I was decent enough on defense that, like, it showed. Like, I get stops, poke the ball away, whatever, stop a pass, like, stop a drive, whatever. But the best night I ever had, I think I went 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. I hit 3 straight threes and then missed the 4th one because I was being cocky. I hit 3 straight threes. Of course, I'm going to try another one. I missed it, but it was like off back rim or whatever. We got the rebound, made a layup.
Anybody who makes 3
that game, I went 3 for 4 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. I think I ended with 13 or 14 points, like 4 rebounds. I only had like 2 assists, but I had 2 steals. Like, I was all over the stat sheet. And like, that doesn't sound that impressive. Like, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, like whatever. But you got to think about like high school. Like, you don't score as many points in high school as you do in the NBA. Like, our average score a game was like 70 points, 60 points. So for me to have 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, like, it was just a great night for me. I was 3 for 4 from 3. Like, I felt great. That was the best night of my life.
I think the most I had in a game was 16, and that's because I had 3 threes, and then the other ones were just like offensive rebound putbacks, basically. But I had like 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists with like 5 blocks and 2 steals. And my 6'3", like 5 inches taller than everybody on the court, I had 2 steals. High school, that doesn't happen. It was a fun time in high school.
Yeah, if I wanted a rebound, I had to try for it.
Yeah, I didn't even have to jump sometimes because like these kids that, and it's weird looking at it from like when I was in school, which has been 10 years now.
Right.
Well, almost 10 years.
10 years next year.
Yeah, 10 years next year. But when I was in school, we had big men.
Right.
We had Devin. We had we had Quentin, which he wasn't really a big man. He was just really freaking tall.
Right.
And he could play defense. And now you look, like, I was looking at, like, when Boo's senior year, all y'all skinny as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you're all, like, 6 foot tall, but you weigh nothing and you're all skinny. Everybody, and that's not just your team, that's everybody. Nobody has any big boys anymore. Like, our senior year was pretty, well, not my junior year was pretty much the last time anybody had, like, big men. It's the same thing as NBA. It's like, there's no more big men anymore. Because even though there are big men, but they can do everything.
Right.
And nowadays it's just everybody on the court 6 foot and can do pretty much everything.
Right.
It's
what
weird.
High school, isn't it?
It's weird because it went from big boys to me.
The line literally went from short to tall, like shifty guard and big boy, to just like playing straight.
5 of me,
basically.
3 inches shorter, basically. 5 of me at 6 foot tall.
That can do everything.
That can do pretty much everything.
Play every position on the court.
You can just kind of swap out and do everything, which isn't bad. It's just crazy to see that. I don't know. Don't make kids like they used to, apparently.
I was either born too late or too early.
I was born too late.
I wish I was taller, but
like if I was like, I don't know, a couple years back, instead of 97, like 93, I think that would have been pinnacle for me. That would have been nice.
Born when I won 2 state championships, got to be a part of all of it, traveled all the time. My senior year, basketball sucked. Like, we lost our first, 11 games of the season. I think we won, 4 games all season. It was really bad.
That was my senior year.
Terrible. So we're like, whatever. And baseball, we weren't supposed to be good. Like, we didn't do great the year before, and we lost a senior. We lost 2 seniors. We lost Landon and Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was basically the same team. So we were like, it's just going to be the same season. Because we even brought freshmen on and that played in the field, and we were like, it's going to be another bad season.
Mm-hmm.
We made it all the way to the state Final Four, and we don't know how we did it. I think it's just because we played basketball. I think it's just because we played baseball. We didn't care. Me and the seniors all got together. We were like, we just got to have a good attitude about this. Let's go play our last season of baseball, have a good attitude about it, do what we can do, and see where it gets us. And we ended up winning conference, districts, went all the way to the state Final Four, and no one expected it.
Did y'all win regionals? Yeah.
Region, conference, and districts.
Yeah. Won regionals, got all the way to the Final Four, which was wild because nobody expected that.
We literally expected to be bounced out. And we were we made it to the state, made it to the state tournament. And the state tournament was all the way down on the Louisiana border. So we had to travel where Viola is literally at the top of Arkansas. It's 15 minutes from the Missouri state border.
Yeah.
So we had to travel all the way to basically Texarkana.
I was going to say, was it around Texarkana?
Because we went to the movies in Texas and we ate in Louisiana and then we played in Arkansas. We were in 3 states basically all weekend.
Yeah.
And day after day, it was just playing and playing. It was
winning.
It was 4 straight days. We thought we were going to get bounced in the first round because we were playing this D1 kid who was 6'4", he was going D1.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we don't have a shot. Boo pitched that game and he just shut the lights out. Without Boo, we would not have made it past the first round. We were done for. And Boo, I think, allowed 2 hits the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane. Best pitching performance I've ever seen in my life. And we just kept winning and winning and winning. And we made it to the state Final Four. And then we lost really bad. But we made it to the state Final Four. And the fact that we even made it that far was insane because no one expected us to. At the beginning of the season, we're we'll have a decent season. We have a chance to win districts. Conference, maybe. And we lost some really dumb games, and we won some really dumb games. But I think it's just because we played baseball for the game it was. We just had fun with it. It was me, Dawson, and Peyton were our 3 seniors, and we just did it for the love of the game.
That's kind of how you should play, though. It's just play because you love playing.
We were all just happy about it.
I love basketball. Now, I love baseball, too, but I don't love baseball like I love basketball. Basketball is all I've ever played. And it's kind of, I've played basketball for the better half of 12, 14, 15 years, at least, because I've played since 5th grade. I mean, I've been playing forever. So it's basically it's in your blood kind of thing. So basketball for me is I play because I love basketball. And I think that's how everybody, if you love basketball, you love baseball, you love soccer, whatever, it doesn't matter.
I don't care if you love ping pong.
Yeah.
Or darts.
If you're good at ping pong, fucking kill that, dude. Just play the game you love for the game. You'll have a lot more fun.
A really good example of that in the NBA was Klay Thompson. He played in Golden State. He got injured. He came back. He played. Well, the last couple of seasons were really rough on him. Came back from 2 injuries. He was out for 900-something days. Came back and won a championship, which was amazing. Well, the season after that, just a bunch of problems were arising, and he just started playing basketball just to play basketball. And he realized that he wasn't playing basketball because he loved it. He was just playing basketball to play basketball. And him moving himself to Dallas and getting away and just having a fresh slate to start on and reset, it just reset his mind. And so now he's playing the basketball because he loves playing it. And he just got a fresh reset. And he said it changed like his perspective on things. Like, obviously he loved his time in Golden State, like, and we'll never forget him for leaving. Like, 4 rings, like 60 points in 3 quarters, 37 in a quarter, 14 threes in a game, like 60 points, 11 dribbles. Like, some of those moments will never be forgotten. Mm-hmm. And some of them are crushing records that who knows will ever be broken.
You know, Kobe's 12 threes in a game stood for a long time until Clay broke it. Or did Steph
Curry broke it at 13.
He got 13.
And then Clay broke it at 14.
Again at 14.
Which, by the way, he did in 3 quarters. He hit 14 threes in 3 quarters against the Bulls, and then Steve Kerr benched him.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just insane. Like, these stats. And people look at Klay Thompson, and they're like, he's just, like, an average guard. Before he got injured, he was one of the best guards in the league, especially a two-way guard. Mm-hmm. People don't realize how good Klay was on defense. Like,
I find it hilarious watching Klay or Steph dunk it.
Oh, like, well, Klay dunked it a lot more than Steph did. That's because he was taller.
Yeah, I know.
Watching Curry dunk it is just hilarious.
It's like watching myself dunk it, I guess, because he's my height, and I already know how hard it is for me to dunk it, and I can't even do it anymore. I can touch the rim, but that's about it.
Right.
Don't ask me to dunk it. I need like 50 mils of adrenaline to even get close.
But I've been a Golden State fan for real. I'm not a freaking bandwagon.
No, he's been.
I've been a Golden State fan since probably 2012, 2013. Since before Steve Kerr was coach, because I remember when he got elected. So when Mark Jackson was coach. Mm-hmm. And just watching them progress and win championship after championship, and then bring KD on and win championship. Go to the NBA Finals 5 straight years. Win 73 games in a season. I've watched multiples of these games. I watched the game where Curry made 13 threes. I watched the quarter that Klay made 37 and a quarter. Like, I watched the 11 dribble game. Like, I watched all these great moments, and it was just an amazing experience. But the championship that resonates with me the most, because I remember it the most, was their most recent one in 2022. Because I watched that whole season. I watched as many games as I could, as often as I could, whenever I could. I live in Missouri, they're in California, or wherever traveling. Most of their games aren't until like 9 o'clock at night. Well, I was in high school, and so before, I couldn't watch the games. I was a fan, so I just had to rewatch the highlights or something like the next day. So I didn't get it to watch games. Well, 2022, I'm in high school. I just stayed up and I watched the games. I was finally allowed to, right? So I watched the whole season and just watching them progress and bring people on. And Wiggins being an all-star, and Draymond and Klay coming back, and watching all of this. Jordan Poole doing what he does. Having all of these players. Andre Iguodala came back, and like just watching the whole season. And then I watched all 6 games of the finals, and it was amazing. I was here when they won the championship, but I was at church camp while the finals were happening. I watched 3 games of the finals at church camp, and I hate to say that. I'm sorry, Jeremiah, but the game started.
I'm watching the NBA game.
I'm watching the NBA finals any chance I got, like, because it was either at like 7 or it was at 9, because it was in Boston on one side and it was at San Francisco the other side. So like there was never just like a good time. One night I'm sitting there, and it was like game 3, game 4, I don't remember. And we do campfire, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. I expect the game to be over because I checked in on it, and then I had to turn it off because like I didn't watch it if we were doing something, but if I was free, I watched it. Or if I was walking around, I watched it. Well, we went back, and it was like 45 minutes till lights out. And I'll never forget this. I go and sit in the living room at our dorm, and I have it on my phone, and there's just like, so one person sits down, and then 2 people sit down, and then 3 sit down. And then eventually there was just like 25 of us just watching the NBA Finals at church camp at like 11:45 at night. It was amazing. And then our dorm dad walks out. He's like, "What are y'all doing?" And I'm like, we're just watching the NBA Finals. And I'm like, you can sit here and watch us. Like, I turned my phone around and showed him, like, we're just chilling, like, watching basketball, like, having fun. And he's like, all right, that's fair. He's like, what quarter is it? I'm like, there's 8 minutes left in the fourth. Our dorm dad extended curfew because like it was like lights out like midnight, which was fair. It was like a Thursday, like whatever. We leave on Friday. It's like Thursday, whatever. And he's like, he looked at all of us. He said, "Are your bags packed?" Because we had to leave on Friday. He's like, we're like, yes. He said, okay. He said, finish the game, go to bed. He goes and lays down. We just left the light on. Game finishes. I don't even remember who won. Like, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Some of us were happy, some of us were upset. I went to bed, came home, I watched Game 5 and Game 6, watched the Warriors dominate, and it was like it resonates with me the most because I watched the whole thing, and there's just people a part of it, and it was just a great experience, like, watching it happen, and just those moments, like, that resonate with you the most. It's like, the 2022 Warrior Finals is what resonates with me the most. The 2011 Cardinal World Series Finals, or the World Series, is what resonates with me the most.
That World Series was freaking wild.
It's what resonates with me the most. It was
Oh,
Albert
God.
Pujols' last season.
Yes.
We had everybody: Chris Carpenter, David Freese, Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina,
Dude.
Adam Wainwright, like everybody.
Freeze is freaking. That was wild, dude.
It was.
I watched that live. Oh my God. It was crazy.
It was. Those are what resonate. It's like the moments that like you remember.
It's like with me. It's like I've been a Lakers fan. Makes no sense. I know from Arkansas. Why would you be a Lakers fan? I watched Kobe, and he was always a Laker. So I've just always been a Laker fan. I don't care if they suck. I've been a fan through the last years of Kobe when they sucked. I mean, watching the 09 finals, the 2010 finals, domination. And then watching Kobe's last game was also freaking wild.
I didn't get to watch that.
60 freaking one.
That wasn't that night. I do remember that night because that was Kobe's final night. He scored 60. Amazing night. It was also the night that the Warriors broke the single season win record and they won 73 games. And they played Kobe's game over it. Like, that's what was broadcasted.
Yeah. I mean,
they played Kobe's last game over the Warriors game. So
the
Warriors game was on backtrack, which was hilarious.
I don't even care.
So Kobe scores 60, and everyone's like, well, what's going on with the Warriors game? We played Memphis. Final game of the season, whatever. Like, it was just insane. Curry had like 46 and 10 threes. They won 73 games.
Don't care. Kobe
scored 60 because Shaq told him to. And it was just like a crazy night.
Shaq told him 50. He's like, I want to see 50 out of you. He's like, that's not happening. Guess what? He scored 60.
It's just like crazy nights or moments like that are just insane.
I sat there losing.
Nobody in the basketball world hated Kobe that night.
Oh no, dude, I was losing my mind watching that game because I was like, I'm sitting there. I had a couple friends over watching the game, and just the first quarter, it wasn't great, you know. And you can see Kobe's age, and it's not really his age. It was more so his injuries that he's dealt with
and played through,
like freaking yanked his Achilles, walks off the court to prove a point. To everybody knows who. We all know who. Because somebody got carried off the court. But watching that game was freaking amazing. We are absolutely losing it like little girls at a slumber party. Like, we're yelling. I mean, we were so loud.
One of those most recent memories that resonates with me was watching the gold medal game this past summer. We were at Nana's. And we watched the whole gold medal game, and watching the whole game was amazing. But watching the last 4 minutes was the most crazy thing ever. We're all watching the game, and it's close, right? Curry comes in, shoots a three, drains it. I'm like, yes, like let's go, Steph. Like, I'm a Warriors fan. Like, The guy comes down the floor. Another 3. Bang. I was like, okay. Like, go Curry, whatever. Comes down the floor again, passes it to Durant. Durant passes it right back to Curry. I'm like, okay.
Another one.
They throw it to the corner. D-Book runs to the basket, throws it out to Curry. Curry hits another 3. Bang. 3 straight threes. We're like, wow, this is nuts. Like,
he's on fire.
4 straight possessions. Curry comes down. He passes it to KD. KD passes it right back. 2 defenders. Curry throws it behind his back, grabs it, throws it in the air, drains it. KD's open. LeBron's open. Devin Booker's open. There's 4 people standing in the lane and 3 people standing on the wing, like the whole way around the arc. Curry shoots the shot, drains it.
Hey,
when I tell you, we have a sports-oriented family, but we don't watch sports. We watch like high school sports, like
or NASCAR.
We used to watch NASCAR, but like we're all losing our minds. And my dad's here at this house, and he texted me, he said, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "That's the best thing I've ever seen in my life."
Oh yeah, that was great.
And I was like, the cold-blooded just mentality of Curry being like,
just draining your face, and 2-3 people's faces just in your mouth, just,
like doesn't care. 2 of the best players, I hate saying that to LeBron. 2 of the best players, wide open
cringy
on the court. 2 people guarding Curry, so someone has to be wide open.
Oh, yeah.
But 2 people wide open, right on the wing,
Don't care.
Could shoot it. KD gave it back to Curry and let him shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Like KD's like,
KD knows.
KD's like, I know, and I'm gonna give him his USA moment because KD's like, what? Isn't KD like the USA leading scorer or something?
Yes.
For Team USA.
Well, I don't know if he's past Kobe or not, but he probably has by now. I haven't looked in years, so I don't know.
But KD was like, I'm gonna give him his moment. Just kept giving him hot hand. Gave him his ball. Curry, the game before, they played Nikola Jokic, and he almost broke Carmelo's scoring record for Team USA. Like, just watching Team USA play was amazing.
It was hilarious watching the Team USA game where Kobe said, "I'm going to plow through Pau Gasol's chest,"
and
then proceeds to plow through Pau Gasol.
See, that was in 2008.
It's one of those things where it's like we are enemies on the court.
I was 3 years old, so
yeah, that was wild. It was crazy. I don't think I watched that game live, but I did watch reruns of that.
It's just some of those moments that like make life great.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna plow through his chest. Boom! Just knocks him on his butt and just stares him down. Just walks down the court. Pau knows they're friends. Not on that court, you're not. But
my favorite story, because I watched the Dream Team,
yeah.
Whatever, and I'm watching it, and my favorite thing after that was Kobe was like, after they lost in 08, and then Pau lost the finals, Kobe walks up to Pau and he goes, "You ready to win a championship?" And Pau was just like,
proceeds to win 2.
Proceeds to go win 2 because Pau lost
out of 3.
Lost his country's gold medal game and lost the finals in the same year. Like, that can't feel great.
No.
And so Kobe knew that, and he knew it could get to Pau, and he was just like,
You want to go win a championship?
You want to go win a championship? And so they just won a championship.
Won 2, actually.
Like, it's just stuff like that that's just nuts to watch in life.
It is crazy.
Well, we've been filming for way too long. I normally try to keep these around 30 minutes long, but sometimes you just gotta
keep talking.
You just gotta keep going. But Brady, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Really needed the help.
I got you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Go ahead and do everything down below. This week's secret message to leave in the comments. Go ahead and comment dubs in the comments below. D-U-B-S. Dubs.
We out here getting dubs.
We out here getting dubs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See you next week. Deuces. It was a great video.
Good one.